It's been quite a stressful day really. So I just wanted to take a minute to talk about Storm Ciarán, which came through Normandy where we live last night. Actually from about midnight and on through the morning was when the most violent winds were, incredibly strong. And it's caused us a few problems. First of all, it's taken out our much loved greenhouse, which has done us so well over summer. It was a very cheap buy and we didn't think it was going to last so long. Well, it hasn't. It got taken out by the storm. I mean, the winds were just something else. So that's unfortunately dead and gone now. But we have bigger things on our plate. It's quite hard to see, but up there we have some quite serious cracks. A couple on this side in the old ancient stone roof, and a bit up by the chimney as well. We had the roofers come round today and they had a look, telling us that for this stone roof there's not a lot we can do apart from cement up the cracks. But on the positive side, I've been able to monitor the drainage. So I cleared out the gutter in the last video with a sort of homemade little tool thing. And that has been absolutely great. We haven't seen the deluge coming off the gutter that we would normally get in heavy rains. The flow on the drainage has been very high volume and it seems to be working quite well. Now I did have a quick look at the questions on the last video that I did on the drainage. I just wanted to answer a couple of those really. There's some really great ideas that are being put forward and as always we appreciate it very much so, because as you know we're not really super experienced in this thing. One is with the drainage. Why have we got two drainage pipes, two agri pipes going down the French drain at the back of the house? The reason to that is because it is cheaper to buy a 50-metre length of drainage than it is to buy it by the metre. And as we were approaching 35 metres that we needed, I just thought we'd go for the 50-metre because it was more economical. That also means that we could put a double drain in, and as I understand it, double the drains equal double the void equals taking double the surface water off. Don't quote me on that, but you know what I mean. The void in the drain should give us more space to evacuate surface water quicker. Another question that we had was regarding the last video and the drainage pipe in the trench, which is down here in the corner of the house. A question that's been raised is, why are we putting a solid pipe in there and not a perforated pipe? Well, the reason for that is because the corner here is very wet. It's right next to the foundation of the house. Now the foundation of this house is natural bedrock, and I don't like that trench being exposed to so much water at the base of the house. So the idea is to cover the trench eventually and stop water falling directly in there, and create a system which sort of defends that corner from water and gets it into the drainage evacuation in the PVC pipes before it reaches the corner. I don't know if that's just wishful thinking, but I'm not finding any better solution than that at the moment. So yeah, I would like to cover that whole trench area eventually and just have it as a solid drainage tube. Another question that has come up is why are we even putting the drainage from the land drain in the terrace area? Why are we even running it into that corner? The reason is because of this side of the house down here. So we've got the house here on the right and the hedge here on the left. Behind this hedge is a retaining wall which goes down to the street, and that is literally 1.5 meters high. So there is no real true exit point. The drain on the right here is so low that we would have to go straight through this area here. The gradient of the land here goes this way. From here to this side, the land goes this way slightly. On this side of the house, the gradient of the land is going to the front. So it would make sense to have a drain here, which somehow has an evacuation down this part. Now this is actually the roof of our garage. So that gives you an idea. The garage door there goes obviously onto the road, which is just the other side of it. But this flat area here is the garage roof, so it shows you the height difference between here and here. And here's the garage. The street is the other side of this hedge. So it could be possible to bring something out of here maybe and run it under there and out onto the street that way. But it's easier for this drain to run down with the natural gradient into that corner. Not ideal, but a bit easier. The drainage is working as it should. It's draining this back area. We don't have as much of a problem as we did before with the leaking gutters, but they will be replaced. There was also a comment about needing scaffolding, or scaffold, which we do, and we have looked at purchasing a small sort of scaffold, like a 4-meter scaffold. We'll also be having the roof done soon, and there will be extensive scaffolding for that, so we might be able to utilise that if we're clever around the way that we do it. As also eventually we're going to have to scaffold for repointing the house as well. But these are all things that are on the agenda to think about. Having a storm like what we've had today puts the heebie-jeebies up you. It does sort of bring it home to me what a crazy project this is, and you kind of feel that maybe you're bitten off a bit more than you can chew. But for me, that's kind of part of the thrill of life, really, and I feel blessed to be able to have a home, even if it does need a lot of care and attention. It will make something very beautiful in the end. But yeah, it does make you think, my God, what have we done? You've got to be a bit crazy, really, I suppose, and definitely a bit crazy sometimes. But yeah, it's been an interesting day and an interesting night. And I just wanted to respond really to some of those comments, even if it's just to say that I do read them and they are useful and I really appreciate it. These cracks in the roof are very hard to see on camera, but they are there and they have got worse overnight, and it does worry me because I feel that there is a potential for them to get even worse. We just need to get the roof on. The roof will make a huge amount of difference. The advice we've been given by the roofers is the front half has still got some life in it, still got some years yet, so we'll just replace this beautiful old moss covered stone roof. So, thanks for watching again. All the best. Cheers.